Hi everyone! Today we are going to discuss microplastic pollution in Malaysian aquatic environments. This topic is relevant as it has become a significant environmental concern due to increasing cases of plastic pollution in Malaysia's rivers and coastal waters.
What is microplastics? It is small plastic pieces that are between the size of 1 nanometer and 5 millimeter. It comes from various sources, including bigger plastics that later degrades into smaller and harmful pellets. It can be found anywhere, in the air, water, and even soil. There are two types of microplastics, which are primary, which is intentionally made microbeads, and secondary, which are disintegrating plastics.
Next, there are four types of microplastic. First, microplastic fibers. These are very small particles less than 5 mm in size. They mainly come from synthetic textiles such as polyester and acrylic found in clothing and carpets. These fibers are released into the environment during washing and drying. Next are microbeads. Microbeads are non-biodegradable plastic particles with a diameter of less than 1 mm. They are commonly found in personal care products such as skin cleanser, exfoliant, and toothpaste. Another type is styrofoam. Styrofoam is a polystyrene material commonly used in food packaging and coffee cups. It is non-biodegradable or recyclable. Instead, it breaks down into smaller pieces and eventually become microplastic. Lastly, needles. Needles are small plastic pellets used in the manufacturing of plastic products such as bottled drink. These pellets can break into microplastic pieces and may be eaten by marine wildlife such as fish, turtle, and dolphin.
This is the timeline of microplastic pollution. In 1972, first scientific journal regarding marine plastic pollution was released. In 1986, the first long-term data on microplastic pollution was created. In 1996, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch was discovered. In 2001, the first journal regarding accumulation of plastic debris in the open ocean was released. In 2004, the term microplastic was coined. In 2006, an article was released introducing the world to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. In 2009, the first expedition aboard the RV New Horizon to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And in 2012, a research by the researchers aboard the RV New Horizon has determined that every sample they've taken was contaminated with microplastics.
Microplastic pollution is becoming a serious environmental issue in Malaysia. In 2020, a study by University Malaya found a large amount of microplastic in the Klang River and nearby coastal waters. This problem was mainly caused by severe flooding during the northeast monsoon season and ineffective plastic waste management. During heavy rainfall, floodwater acts as a transport system. When drainage systems become blocked, plastic waste is carried into rivers and eventually flows into the sea. Moreover, according to the Malaysia Roadmap Towards Zero Single-Use Plastic 2018-2013, out of 0.9 million tons of plastic waste produced, nearly half, or about 400,000 kilograms, is improperly released into the marine environment. This clearly shows how serious plastic leakage is in Malaysia.
Microplastic pollution in Malaysia is mainly driven by three key contributing factors. First, our high dependence on single-use plastics. Items like disposable food packaging, plastic bags, and bottled drinks are used daily. These plastics break down into smaller fragments over time, especially when exposed to sunlight, heat, and physical abrasion. This constant consumption creates a continuous source of microplastics entering aquatic environments. Second, weak waste management and low recycling rates. Poorly managed landfills that are located close to rivers allow plastic waste to be washed into waterways during rain and floods. Since Malaysia's recycling rate is still low, a large portion of plastics end up in drains, rivers, and coastal zones, where they eventually degrade into microplastics. Lastly, rivers act as a major transport pathways. Many Malaysian rivers carry significant loads of plastic waste. During monsoon seasons, strong currents and heavy rainfall increase the movement of microplastic from inland areas into the sea, making rivers a major channel that connects land-based plastic waste to marine ecosystems.
Next, let's see the root causes of microplastic pollution in Malaysia. First, improper waste management is one of the main contributors. Low recycling rates and poor waste management system cause large amount of plastic to end up in landfills. From there, plastic are easily washed into rivers and other water systems. As a result, around 0.94 million tons of plastic are improperly disposed of and approximately 0.14 to 0.37 tons eventually enter the oceans. Furthermore, the breakdown of plastic waste also contributes to microplastic pollution. Plastic items such as bags, bottles, and food packaging do not disappear. Instead, they slowly break down into smaller pieces due to exposure to sunlight and rain. Over time, this causes the plastic to crack and turn into microplastic. Another major cause is synthetic textile, also known as laundry fibers. When clothes made from polyester, nylon, or acrylic are washed, they release hundreds of thousands of microfibers into the water system. These microfibers are very small and can pass through wastewater treatment plant before entering river and eventually the ocean. In conclusion, poor waste management, plastic breakdown, and synthetic textile are key factors driving microplastic pollution in Malaysia.
Next, I will talk about how microplastics cause a wide range of impacts on both the environment and public health. For marine life, microplastics are easily ingested by fish, shellfish, and plankton. This leads to bioaccumulation, reduced growth, reproductive issues, and chemical exposure due to toxic additives attached to plastic particles. For human health, consuming contaminated seafood or drinking water can introduce microplastics into our bodies. These particles may trigger inflammation, disrupt the metabolic system, impair immunity, and even affect the nervous system. The chemical components in plastics also raise concerns about long-term toxicity. For the environment, microplastics degrade water quality, transport harmful chemicals, and contribute to soil contamination when they settle in sediments. They also interfere with natural physical and chemical processes in aquatic ecosystems. Lastly, for ecosystem, microplastics disrupt food webs, reduce biodiversity, and weaken the overall resilience of ecosystem, making them more vulnerable to environmental stress. Several recent findings confirm the severity of microplastic pollution in Malaysia. Local news reports have highlighted microplastic contamination after major floods, showing how floodwaters increase the movement of plastic debris into rivers and coastal areas. Another report labeled microplastic as a silent killer due to the potential link between plastic-related chemicals and rising cancer cases. Research from Malaysian institutions also show microplastics present in commercially important fish species, indicating that contamination has already entered the food supply chain. Additionally, scientific reviews in the Malaysian Journal of Analytical Sciences have documented widespread microplastic presence in rivers, coastal waters, and sediment samples, proving that the issue is extensive across multiple aquatic environments.
Next, what is the best solution to prevent from all of this happening? The first one is reducing microplastic at the source. Reducing microplastic at the source means limiting the use of single plastic use such as plastic bag, food packaging, and disposable containers. These items often break down into smaller plastic particles when exposed to sunlight, heat, and physical damage. And the second one is better laws and enforcement. Better laws and enforcement involve creating clear regulation on plastic production, use, and disposal, and ensuring these rules are strictly followed. And the third one is raise awareness. Raise awareness focuses on educating the public about what microplastics are, where they come from, and the risks they pose to the environment and human health.
To conclude, microplastic pollution is a serious concern in Malaysia. It has caused serious harm to our ecosystem and also poses potential risks to human health. The lack of awareness among Malaysians regarding microplastic is one of the main factors contributing to this issue.